Thank you for attending this webinar. I do hope that you will find it useful. At least, at most, you will find a new piece of technology that you would love to use on your future projects or in your current e-commerce setups. Because currently, in 2024, there are so many technologies out there. I was recently reading TechCrunch, and they were reporting that, okay, in the past, there were like 5 to 10 products per week, and now there are hundreds of products per week empowered by AI or by any other bright technological minds of humans, and it's very hard to find the piece of technology which you would want to showcase. And I do hope that today you will fall in love with Sanity the way I do. At least I will try to share this with you. And yeah, and I think that we will have a productive session today. In the end of this speech, I will leave time for questions and answers. You can ask me anything, technological, business, whatever levels of questions. I will be happy to answer them in the end of the presentation. All right, so let me share my screen first, and I will just only hope that you see this nice transition in the logo from Sanity to scandiweb. I will ask you to confirm that also in the chat, that I'm actually sharing the right screen and you don't see my conversations in Slack. So let me open the chat. Yes. So please somebody. Yes, everything is good. Wonderful. Okay, so the idea of this webinar was basically from us, scandiweb, signing the partnership with Sanity after several projects we were working on, and falling in love with this technology, on how simple it is and how efficient it is in solving different aspects that the content teams of our clients are facing. And we decided to call old setups that they were using as a city of Troy, and then you basically enter with a Trojan horse of your old CMS setup, and it will be burned at some point in time. Of course, not at the very beginning, but at the very beginning it looks so logical to use something else. But then once you grow, once your e-commerce is getting more channels, more languages, it's very clear that maybe somewhere at the beginning, while setting up all infrastructure for your content system, there was something was missed, and now it is resulting in a bigger problem. So today we will be talking about CMS systems. I will cover what is CMS system. You will in a while with after several slides. But the main thing is that content on the online store or on any web page, it should not be HTML or CSS dependent. Content manager is a creative artist, so they need to focus on creativity, on bringing more traffic into website or converting this traffic into actual orders, rather than just to think about HTML and CSS. In the end of the day, you have a development teams for that purpose, and there is usually when content managers are starting to think about HTML, CSS, how it should look, it's resulting into incompatibilities in the code or in many other issues that you may face while deploying this piece of content. Why it matters? So whenever the content manager is creating the page, it looks nice at the first glance. So they see it in the preview and they looking like, okay, well, I did a great job. I have products, I have banner, I have everything that my superior asked me to place here, or my design team asked me to place there. But since the content manager is not technical, it's very hard for them to understand if, for example, the page is responsive. If the page is responsive on which devices it is responsive. Will it display correctly on a huge display screen or on small mobile, or maybe the user is using 10 years old mobile, how it will look there, because usually they will see the page on their new iPhones and they will think, oh, okay, well, page looks good, but the user on smaller screen will see the problem. Plus the browsers. Cross-browser support is also a matter, because we can't dictate which exactly browser the user should be using. So basically all these things are missing for content managers. They don't usually need to do the QA the way as developers do. So that's the first thing. That's the first problem when content managers are creating the content. And the second problem is that when they use page builders, they were so much promoted that you can create any type of content and it will render good. You can drag and drop. But if this page builder is a third-party page builder and they will just copy paste it, for example, in the email or on any static page, then they will copy it and they will get the result, but the result will be in what developers are calling this a spaghetti code, which is impossible to work with. So if this piece of code of HTML and CSS styled code will create some issues on the page, then for developers, it will take a lot of time in order to understand how to work with all these classes and all this machine-generated language, which is hard. Then I Googled for the reality of content management. I Googled several like job posts, and all of those posts are requiring some level of understanding the HTML and CSS, which is wrong in the root. So like, because we want the creative person to know coding. And I know that because, well, my wife, she's a creative thinking human. And at some point in time, she tried to learn code and it didn't work well. So for her, it is much easier to create the visual aspect and to understand what exactly looks good rather than to understand how to write the code, which is normal. So basically, though the current reality is creating this reality where these creative artists do need to know technical aspects of the pages, and since they are creatively thinking, it's hard for them to structure things in the way how the technical thinking human being will do. So what we will be covering today, apart from the aspects of what is wrong with the current content management employment market. So that there will be quick introduction to CMS systems. Then we will talk a bit about structured and conventional CMS systems. Then I will explain in details how does structured CMS system work, which is Sanity, as they are calling themselves a structured CMS system. Then we will talk about exceptional things in Sanity, and then we will share bits about how to structure your content in Sanity, and this can be used just as a general advice. All right, so Introduction to CMS system. CMS system is a content management system. Basically, logically thinking, this is a system where you create the content and you can either have it inside your e-commerce already pre-built, or if you are using the non-e-commerce site without the content management system built in it, you will be using some editors or, well, some third-party solutions integrated with your web page, and then the result will be deployed on your production. So this is what content management system is. And this is the explanation done by ChatGPT. I did several inquiries to it to improve and to simplify it. So the audience can understand in like immediately. So basically, according to ChatGPT, this is a software tool designed to simplify the creation, organization, and modification of digital content on websites. So whatever you are using to upload your picture and then deploy to your page, this can be called the CMS system to some extent. It should have a user-friendly interface because, again, we are working with non-technical people and creative artists, content managers. They're non-technical by default, and it should be intuitive for them. But then on the other hand, more advanced features of CMS systems can be unblocked only by editing the template directly. So if you want some button to pop up or to hover, to change color on hover, you will need to start using HTML and CSS as a content manager. So what does structured and conventional CMS systems stand for? Conventional CMS system can be, back in the days, it was a WordPress, for example. As an example, this is a conventional CMS system. Then some aspects of CMS can be found in e-commerce system. For example, in Adobe Commerce, they have the page builder built in where you can basically drag and drop different components, and you can ask your team to develop these components, and then you publish pages. And there are builders, as I mentioned. So there is Wix, GoDaddy, and others. So there you can again drag and drop your page, and then you either can integrate Wix or GoDaddy or others in your e-commerce system or web page, or you can copy paste if you don't want to invest time in the integration. So as it's written here, conventional CMS, such as a WordPress, it's given a freedom for you to create whatever you want. And later in slides, you will see that whatever you want means that, and to create problems as much as you want or as much as you don't want. So yeah, by creating whatever you want in whatever way, having more freedom is limiting your freedom, basically. That's a contradictory statement, but that's true. When working with a content and then debugging for a few hours, like for example, why the logo became bigger, and the claim comes to developers, and then developers are spending hours in order to understand why huge deer icon is displayed on the entire homepage. But in the end of the day, there was for example, there was a content management action done, for example, to release new promotion, and then without even double thinking, they just released a simple CSS rule that just like changed how icon look like. That's just one of the examples. Then e-commerce system is slow because at the beginning it's super fast, but as more traffic you have, more products you have, more categories, more attributes, more transactions happening, it's all happening in one single system, and it's loading server, and it's making things slower. as you grow, and then you add different channels, then you add different languages, and then it's getting slower and slower to unblock the possibilities to work with the content on scale. And builders, again, it generates machine built code from this drag and drop results, which is impossible to work with. And to me, this feels like buying the Tesla to pack vegetables and deliver it somewhere. So you can do this on another car, on smaller car, you can do this. But this product as such, for example, I'm talking from e-commerce platform perspective, this was not designed to work with content on scale. So it was designed to satisfy some requirements, but not like to work on the scale. And a bit about pain points of conventional CMS. This includes e-commerce and page builders. So it has a lot of text, but I will try to simplify this by mentioning brand's visual identity, which should be followed by all pages. So by that, I mean that all pages, they should be designed in the same way. If you have a banner on on homepage and then the same banner with different image on on product listing page, on product details page, they should be same. They cannot be like that, oh, on homepage the banner is 1000 pixels and then on another page same looking banner but it's wider or bigger. It should be same. So it creates the design code for the web page or for the online store, for learning platform, for whatever. So all elements should be same. And when you have more freedom to do whatever you want, whatever you like, you will basically break this brand's identity. Then we talked a bit already about HTML and CSS knowledge. So all content managers are relying on that in order to create the component that they do like to see on their front end. Then the change of one single piece of content takes a lot of time. For example, if we have one single banner but published into English, Spanish, French, I don't know, Italian, Hungarian, Polish languages, then in order, like in conventional approach, this would be 6 different components in your CMS system. So you will name it banner Spanish, banner English, banner Polish, and then if you, for example, you want to change call to action there, so you want, or some promotion message in there, you will need to go into 1, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and iterate these actions. And then when you will want to release it, let's say on 7th region, you will copy the one that exists, you will go and translate it, then you will update the copy, and then you will somehow insert it. So the number of as number of channels is increasing, it causes more time, more effort to update it. Yeah, different experiences. It's same as visual identity. So these are the concerns that our customers raised whenever we were in discovery calls on the CMS system setups. But yes, the problem is that not only we are talking about pages, but if we want to, for example, to launch a website and then, I don't know, in-store physical screen, such as McDonald's, so user can come, click with their fingers and get the order done. The experience for that screen may be different because the CMS system or e-commerce system, it most likely is not integrated with this screen. So this screen is using completely different technology. So it's using completely different templates for same banner. And it's not like you would want your customers to experience same on all platforms. And then we are, if we talk about scaling up smoothly, so basically that's about the that's about different languages, different platforms, having different applications, Android, iOS, Huawei, Samsung, and you want to deploy same content everywhere. So that's problematic to be done with conventional CMS or e-commerce system. And nobody even will think about having e-commerce system integrated in the app for the aspect of just content publishing. And now we will talk about structured CMS. Structured CMS, Sanity, it has a lot of benefits. And here we just have few of them, but to me, they are the most important ones. So X countries and Y languages. It doesn't matter how much you have of countries or how much languages you want to support. Because in structured CMS, all the content is split into data pieces. We will talk about this in a couple of slides, but and then this data piece, let's say for the banner, you have a button text, main text, and image. You can basically create another data in same component, which will say, okay, I know, button text English, button text Spanish, button text Italian, and then you just like write down in one single screen, and you don't need to jump between different tabs, having this Chrome or Safari or any other browser of your preference burning up or heating up your laptop or computer by these multiple tabs. You can do it just in one single window and just publish it everywhere. Then with structured content, as again, it is just like, this is a system where content is split into pieces of data. With these pieces of data, can travel to any platform, and then any technology can receive this piece of content, piece of data, and say, okay, I know what to do with it. So why not to render the page, or why not to render the component based on this data, and that's it. Then translations, they are simple, as I mentioned, because you can have just one component and different fields for different languages, or you can design your own approach if you wish. Then the cost on labor is decreased, because in order to publish multiple components to multiple languages and platforms, you don't need that much time. So one single content manager can now work with a lot of content pieces without even being afraid of breaking them, because it's impossible, because they don't have access to what can break. So they can just like post the updates. Again, this can have a positive benefit on the online revenue, because you can update your content more dynamically. You can, if you want to act like Instagram with banners and pieces of content appearing, do it. And if your customers are liking that, they will have a habit to visit in your page, because they will know, okay, this homepage is being updated constantly. Maybe I will find something for myself. And the speed of content update will also be increased, because again, it's only the data that's being updated, not the content itself. Whenever you change something and you confirm that it passed your QA of content quality, then it immediately can appear on the front end, or you can schedule it in the future. Like, for example, if you want some campaign to start Black Friday 1 p.m., okay, do it. Create the banner, create all pieces of content you want, schedule it, and be sure that at 1 p.m. Black Friday, it will be released immediately, without any need for developers or anything else. System will do everything for you. How does it work? Because I was talking about content being a piece of data, and that may be difficult to comprehend. And we've prepared this simple explanation of example of Sanity interface, where you are writing well, we are talking today a lot about banners. So you are writing the content for your banner. So you give title, you give copy, you give some SEO data, call to action. You just write down this text and that's it, and upload images. These fields, they can be whatever that you feel are needed for your piece of content, be it banner, be it some grid, be it article, just fields will be different. Once your fields are planned for your component, then your development team can develop basically the HTML and style it appropriately that will expect these pieces of data to come. So for example, here we expect title, copy, then here image in curved brackets, mobile image, call to action URL, and then they will create the template. And the front end will know that, okay, when I receive this piece of these pieces of content, I need to render this template. And then these pieces of content, they travel from Sanity, from your structured CMS to your code without this code. Because if we are talking about conventional CMS, then this code can also be created by this CMS. But by having the content structured, you can't do that. You don't have an access to these templates. So to these templates, you split the responsibilities between content managers to write down content with high quality, and to developers to develop templates with high quality. And then the template will render the banner where this is the image, and this is like, so it was needed for this component to appear. This is the copy, this is the title, call to action, and then the URL to where this call to action leads you to. So basically, when you see as a user this banner, it doesn't differ. It has no differences between conventional CMS created banner or structured CMS created banner. But the details, technical details, are super important here, because for this banner to render, it receives only small bits of information. It also has a positive impact on traffic that your user is using whenever they are browsing your website, because you don't exchange this huge HTML, CSS, blah, blah, blah. You just receive small bits of data. So then it's just like animated, what we've discussed. So basically the data travels to these templates, and then bam, we have the banner. That's how structured CMS work. So basically all content is split into fields of data that you fill in, and that's it. And that's the only thing that travels. And then front end, your development team, once they develop the template for this, they don't need to touch it anymore, unless you want it to be changed, again, globally for everywhere. Then about Sanity, because structured CMS is a concept. So Sanity is one of CMSs that is using this concept, but what they are doing in order to be the best ones. First of all, they have very this is an example of Sanity interface, and you can as a during planning architecture in your data, you can plan your structure in whatever format you want. If you want regions to be under platforms, do it. If you want to have content as first column, do it. And then you create your hierarchy of everything. So for example, on this example, from this panel, we can manage Canadian, US, and UK locales, basically, and then we can deploy content for application, website, POS, POP, or maybe some shared. By shared, we mean that this content is implemented in all of these systems. So, for example, if we share same style for the banner and same data structure for the banner for all systems, then we can create it once, and then we can just deploy it on all the front ends for Canadian region. If these front ends are using application, website, POS, and POP, the banner will appear in all systems at once, scheduled or immediate. And then you can have you can style components, or you can combine the entire pages, and then you will have the list of components schemed in Sanity and implemented on the front end, and then you can just create banner groups, small banner. This again can be whatever. So when you are receiving Sanity setup, you receive blank page, so you can architect your data in the way you want, in the way how it will suit and benefit your business. Again, any structure for any content. So basically, this is a structure of virtual component where we have colors, we can upload logo, we can set where this logo will be displayed, and the most important part is that all of that is provided to the development team when they are creating this piece of content template, and then they know, okay, I can have logo position be above or below something. I will need to implement it above and below based on this configuration, and that's it. And once they confirm that all of that is implemented, you can start using it and just like selecting, clicking on publish, and the content is out. Then you have the support in Sanity built in. You have a real-time collaboration where all your content team can be collaborating on piece of content. Maybe somebody is better with images and another person is better with texts. Why not to allow them to collaborate right away, exchange ideas in on the go, leaving comments, and basically working together for the goal of business success. Then you have a feature of visual editing. This is one of the most loved features, I would say. This is the mode in Sanity where you can open your website in Sanity and browse through this website. And if you see, for example, there is a banner and you don't like how it looks, you can click on it. It will be covered, like it will be wrapped in this blue rectangle. You will click on Open in Sanity, and immediately you will be redirected to the Sanity page where this banner is located. So you can change right away, for example, client name or site or whatever, and click on publish, and you immediately will see, after reload, I think, you will see the change on the front end. And you fixed the problem. You didn't need to think, oh, and I named this banner how, where is it? So you can just like immediately go there and fix. Then you have a support of the workflows, which looks to me as a Jira tickets, and this is very neat feature in Sanity where you can set up your workflow and then basically to assign these things to these tasks to different people within your team, and then you can see the progress. And to me as a manager, it's very important to be able to visualize somewhere the progress of big piece of work that we are doing, that we are working on. So I would love to open some board and see immediately without the need to go somewhere to Jira or any other ticket management tool. Just do it all in one place. Then they have a support of AI, of course, to help you to create the engage in text on your pieces of content. So you, if you don't have, for example, the copy ready when you are working on something, you can just like provide to AI what this what this article is about, and then it will generate it for you right away inside Sanity, and you can just like use it and adjust afterwards. And yes, and now to the equation of less freedom, more freedom. This is confusing. This can confuse a lot, but in Sanity, you can, of course, allow users to publish some HTML or CSS, of course, but you would want to limit it. Why? Because, for example, if your page is supposed, we will talk about the New York Times, if you browse the New York Times website, all of their page are sharing same design. So you have title, you have, for example, image, then you have text, everything is predictable. If you will open 20 different articles, everything will be predictable. Even the bullet points, they will be same. When we are talking about, for example, e-commerce websites, if you will go to FAQ page and then to support page, they can be styled differently, structured differently. One page can be using bullet points, another one will be using numerical list. And this is not something that is consistent. So why not to limit this and take it out from content managers and to say to them only that, okay, you can provide title, you can provide slug is an identifier in Sanity. You can provide main image that will be rendered here and only there. No way it will come to the bottom of the page. And then you can provide text, and then this text will look in a predictable manner. You can have, for example, read more, this call out. You can also provide it, and if they write the call out text, it will appear, for example, after the first paragraph. So you set up these rules, and these rules are impossible to be broken, because content manager does not have an access directly to the page. They just provide the data, and that's it. The page was designed once, and it will stay until there will be a business decision to change how page look like. So yeah, so that's what I call less freedom is more freedom, because content managers without freedom on creating some crazy new looks, they can focus on freedom in creating the very good pieces of content by following the rules. And then for business, it will be always predictable. And then on top of it, there is in Sanity built in, there is a digital asset management. So you can manage all your images inside Sanity and then make your content pieces to reuse these images. And if you are publishing these to different systems, like e-commerce, POS, marketplaces, whatever, you can just like use same images without need to copy and store multiple libraries of images. Okay, these images goes to Amazon, but these images will go to e-commerce because they are being cut differently. So you can have it once in one place and then just like define rules inside Sanity where and how they should travel. Then Sanity is fully covered by API, and I think that it's some majority of the features are covered by GraphQL, but some of the new ones are not yet, but they are actively working on that. And Sanity has an amazing community of developers and basically developers inside Sanity who are working on improving their product. And the speed of these improvements is so high that the pace of these improvements is so high that even, for example, if you will fall out for a couple of months from Sanity and then you come, you see completely like a lot of new features, and it's sometimes hard to follow, but all of those features are business proof, so they make sense. Then you can set up different permissions for group. For example, your content managers that are sitting somewhere in Spain, they have no need to know if you don't want them. Of course they can, but they don't need, for example, to know what's happening in Canada. And you can set up that they will not even know that there is a Canadian team working inside Sanity. For example, if your content teams are not united and you want to split them, so you basically define the rules and then they don't even see all this content being created in different regions. Then you can have full content mapping in one place. So basically, that's about being able to release content to POS, POP, e-commerce, web, learning platform. If you want to make an application, do it, and just like decide that, okay, I want to serve the content from Sanity, all the visual content from Sanity, but of course products and add to cart and all e-commerce aspects will not be served from Sanity. Then in Sanity, you can see the history of changes. So for example, you can see who exactly and changed what. And then you can go and check with this person to understand the reasoning behind these changes. And that usually helps to roll back the issue that was introduced. For example, on one of the projects, me personally, I was playing on staging, and mistakenly I went into production and I clicked on one checkbox and it killed some part of the cart page with and then the team immediately noticed that, and we went into the history of changes. They found me, they asked me why, and I explained, okay, I was thinking that was staging, and we immediately fixed that without having any impact on real user experience, because that took like less than 5 minutes. Yeah, and it takes and it has a lot of more, but I would recommend to browse through Sanity website. It has a lot of information, and it's very descriptive, I would say, about each feature they have. And yeah, and I'm wondering, is it built on Sanity? I think so. Yeah, and you, as many people may think, okay, we were talking about so many things, but e-commerce or conventional CMS already have it. Why are we talking about this? In this case, we are talking about e-commerce system. So e-commerce system is as powerful in terms of providing all these features we've talked about. So it can potentially handle it. But first of all, your e-commerce system by content managers is being used in the same time frame when your real customers are placing their orders. This is the result of the study we made internally by analyzing the probability of purchase per hour on, I think we took 25 stores and their annual history of transactions. So, and we've noticed that, for example, from 9 a.m. the chance is higher than, for example, in the night, which is logical. And then in the evening is out of the question. But for example, if we are talking about this time frame from 9 to 6 p.m., then your content managers are working in the system, which is under high load right now because of those customers browsing your website. Of course, you can have caching and you can have advanced architecture, but in the end of the day, whenever a customer is adding something to the cart, removing from the cart, it loads server. And the bigger your traffic is, the bigger your catalog is, the slower your system is for content managers. So basically, apologies for the animation quality. I don't know what happened, but new products are being added, and it's making server cost higher, of course, but it's a different topic, but it's making performance slower. And this is the main part. So basically, if I want to just go and update image on the banner again, it will take me X amount of time, where X will be the modifier of how slow the system is right now because of the traffic. So I as a business, I'm losing time on updating the content. And of course, whenever content manager wants to update the content and they are in this time frame, they are usually afraid to update some banners when users are browsing the website. So they will still do it, but it's some sort of a stressful situation, because you can break something. And then in e-commerce system, there is no workflow management. So basically, it's very hard or even impossible to set up some clear steps from idea through CMS through some system, which is Sanity in this example, and then basically hydrate it with different pieces of data in parallel. So some team can be faster, some team can be slower. That doesn't matter much, because these processes are parallel, and then in the end of the day, final manager will receive if you have a final manager in content teams, final manager will just be informed that, okay, this piece of content is done, just come and check, then final manager is checking and then publish. If you don't have final manager, then again, if Spanish translation is ready, why Spanish cannot publish it? So Spanish team can publish it already on their website. If French language is not yet ready, Spanish team should not be blocked by that if they manage to deliver it faster. With Sanity, we can do this. We can configure that, and your pieces of content will just like go everywhere in parallel. Here we have several examples of how Sanity is working with some of our clients, and with one big client, two huge clients. With one we work, with another we don't, and this is a Sanity case study. But this is also a great client from Sweden. The history was that they had their old CMS system, which was a conventional one, and once they were growing, this content number of content pieces was also growing, and maintaining this content was becoming a huge problem for them, because they needed to go through different pieces of content, update one word, go through different pieces of content, update one banner, blah, blah, blah. So they decided to migrate to Sanity, and we integrated this with, I think, 3, maybe 4 languages. So this is Swedish, Norwegian, Danish, maybe Finnish, I'm not sure. So 3 or 4 languages, I believe. And they since then they're happy with that, so they can go in Sanity. They do know that everything content related is there, everything is documented, which configuration does what, how it will look when some configuration is on, some configuration is off, and their content managers can just be following these rules, so they can have the Confluence page or Notion page where it's described how to create a video block, and then they just go through all these rules. They set up and they decide on the go how they want it to look, and then bam, it's done. Then it's a story by Sanity about one of their great clients, and I do think that everyone knows these brands. For those who are from Canada, you definitely know Tim Hortons and Burger King, of course. Popeyes, I'm not sure. I don't know. I never been there. But still, this is the same company, owns these 3 brands, and Sanity is serving them, their marketing team, to be able to deploy promotional materials to more than 29,000 restaurants, which is an amazing and incredibly hard job. But Sanity can do it by simplifying it. It just like sends this data, and those restaurant front ends, they're just rendering it, and that's it. And Puma. Puma is our current client, our great partner. We built several front-end stores with them. We built Mexico, Argentina, Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and now we are also involved in working with their Sanity system. We didn't design it from the very beginning, but we were happy to take it over and start making for them globally proved and Sanity proved implementations of features, and to support their business. And the biggest challenge for Puma was that all their content teams were working in different systems. So there could be some team that is working in Magento, another team is working in in another e-commerce system, another team is working in some custom CMS system, and all of those teams were just like gathering together and exchanging their different experiences of creating the content for a global brand, which of course was hard because Puma, as a global brand, they have a design code. So all content pieces should be following the same design code. And then they met with Sanity, and the amazing decision was done to move Puma to a centralized CMS system, data-driven, where content teams can stay content teams without thinking about technology and just like be creating experiences for their customers. You can see what Puma is building is doing with Sanity by visiting us.puma.com. This is the US storefront. Sanity is not rolled out in all regions, but US store is, so you can go there and check it out. So to summarize, Trojan horse and how to burn it. So for example, to burn it in the head is just to understand that to launch a piece of content in this environment can take up to half an hour. But imagine that you have this environment. So you have different languages, different channels, different applications. And of course, historically, as e-commerce was growing, your business was growing, all these cross integrations, they made all these channels dependent and very hard to debug. So all this interaction is half an hour, and then how many arrows we have here? 10, 15? So it takes a lot of time for one single piece of content. But with Sanity, you can just like stream it from one place into everywhere, and it will happen immediately, because in here we are talking just about pieces of data, not about huge, massive templates that are expected to travel from one system to another. And unless you like that chaos, you should go to sanity.io and you should test this product and give it a try. Just play with it. It has an amazing free license to try. Install it. Ask your developers to test and try, for them to try to create some architecture of the data, and you will be impressed with the results. If no, just email me, and I will take some public punishment for that. Thank you. By the way, yesterday was a happy Valentine's Day. Today is Love Reset Day, where everyone is coming back to the reality. But despite the Love Reset Day, you stayed with me until now, and I should thank you. And now we have questions. The time for questions and answers. So if you want, and you have still some questions, you want something to be clarified, just write them down and I will try to answer them if I can. I do see one in chat. Sanity also converts images to any format, so content team can upload. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Rana, for bringing that up. Sanity indeed it can convert images into many formats. It can crop images into different screens if you want. It can set focal point on where the image, in the case if it's resized by the front end, should be zoomed in. So for example, you have some nice model wearing a jacket and you want to sell this jacket. So you just set focal point on the jacket, and then if even the image will be resized, then it will be all resized on that jacket. So the model, like the front end will not decide, okay, maybe, I don't know, maybe bag that model is wearing is the focal point. So you can provide it, and front end will be able to basically render it correctly. Yes, so thank you. Okay, we have another question. But does Sanity CMS support content personalization by default? For example, different user groups or segments can see different content. In theory, yes, but this is this is the question to both Sanity and the front end, because front end team can implement fetching of different pieces of content per group, and group should be implemented on the front end or e-commerce system. And then the front end, once it's understand that, okay, for example, the user logged in and the user belongs to the group students. And for students, we want to show homepage for students. So then the front end is requesting that this exact content from Sanity, and it's rendering the homepage for students. So yes, this is possible, but with some front end adjustments as well. Yes, no problems. Yeah, let's wait a couple more minutes. We have 4 minutes in this session in case somebody wants and has some questions. I think that all attendees will receive this presentation after the webinar is over, so you can walk through it. I think that I will a bit update this presentation. Apologies for not having that on the go, but I will add the URLs to Sanity, so you will not need to browse for that. So I will add the URL to Sanity website. I will also add the URLs to Puma Store, Cervera, and Tim Hortons. And yes, and then you will receive this presentation. No questions on LinkedIn. I think then we are done, more or less. So I will stop sharing my screen. Yeah, I think that I do hope that this was an informative session for you, that you got something new about this amazing piece of technology, and I will be extremely happy to jump into any discussion that you will have on LinkedIn. Like you can message me on LinkedIn, on the email, and then we can discuss how to build architectural design for your data so it will be as efficient as it only can be. So I should thank you all for staying together for this hour or so. And yeah, I do wish you to have a great day or evening, depends on the part of the globe you are in. And see you soon. Thank you. Bye.